We'll call the meeting to order for the Hermosa Town Board, 6 p.m., Tuesday, March 19th, 2024, regular meeting. Roll call. Ferguson.
Here.
Henriksen here. Halsworth.
Here.
Kramer.
Here.
Thank you all for coming. We appreciate the attendance. Looks like a pretty full house. Glad you guys are taking an interest. Call for changes. Review of current agenda item. I'm sorry, I skipped the pledge. Beat me with this thing.
You're trying to get us out of here.
Yeah, I am. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nobody else, everybody's left, they sit for a minute and they leave out.
Because I was right about something. And he was
Review of current agenda items. Excuse me. Thank you. Motion to accept the agenda. Oh, sorry. Review, call for changes. I have to add some. Add 10D, which is a land application.
Excuse me, what was that?
A land application? What's that?
10D?
Somebody wrote it on there. I didn't write it on there. That's not my handwriting.
I didn't write that on there. I don't have it on mine.
Oh, well, then skip that. I don't know where that came from. Item A1A under engineer, letters to be approved and signed for KLJ.
Under what? I'm sorry, Vicki, what?
Under engineer,
Okay.
Letters.
A1A,
A1A,
yes.
you're moving it?
Letters to what?
I'd like to say what that is. It's some letters to surrounding citizens of the lagoon. And I can read the letter when it's
Okay.
When we get
something
there.
that has to do with the FEMA requirement.
So I need a motion for amended.
So move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Meeting protocol. If you wish to speak, raise your hand. Can't think what all of it was. If you violate that and I have to talk to you, you get one warning. Second warning, you don't talk on that subject. Third warning, you don't speak again. So, given that, I don't think we'll have an issue. This one is Terry Corneliuson, oath of office, please. Mitch, would you administer that?
Hi,
Excuse me.
I, Terry Corneliuson, I, Terry Cornelson, having been hired to the position of finance officer having been hired to the position of finance officer within for the town of Hermosa, within and for the town of Hermosa, said county and state, said county and state, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the state of South Dakota, the Constitution of the state of South Dakota, and the ordinances of said town of Hermosa, and the ordinances of the said town of Hermosa, and that I will faithfully and impartially, and that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform all duties of said position of finance officer. perform all duties of said position of finance officer. Okay, so where does she sign?
Welcome, Terry. Glad you're here. Thank you.
I'll give you more. I'll get you.
You can get it later.
It's been a tough day.
Been a long couple days. Okay. Letters of interest for vacant trustee position. We have one letter. We will review and act on it on the next meeting. Greg?
Did you want to have him get up and say a few
Can.
words? Or-
Sure can.
I think you should.
Kelburn, do you want to stand up and introduce yourself, please? Tell us a
Yeah,
little bit about you.
sure. I'm Kel Koontz. I just live down on Donna Street, and I put in for the vacant position for the trustee up there because it's being appointed. So we moved to town about, I don't know, October of 2021, and I just wanted to step up and volunteer and serve the community and just try and help move things along in the right way. And I do have a little bit of an engineering background, so just any of the technical things that we need to look over, it's not going to be an issue. So anyways, that's about all I have.
Welcome, thank you. Consent calendar, approval of the March 5th, 2024 regular meeting minutes. Do I have a motion, please? Motion, please.
I'll make a motion so we can do discussion.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Only thing I have is just under legal where we have just one typo where it says one absent, should be one abstain.
Oh,
Okay, anything else? Okay. All those in favor of the amended? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Conflict of interest. Board of Trustees will be aware that if there's a conflict of interest and declare it. Planning and zoning, I'm gonna turn over to Jill.
To me.
Yeah.
We have Chuck's informational permit still on there. Is that still pending, or?
I'd make a motion that we please leave that pending too still.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
Oh, I'll second that. Yes.
We have an informational
Discussion.
permit from,
Can I-
Wait, discussion. Is there discussion pertaining to that issue?
I would like to know why we keep tabling it.
Okay. Is there a reason for tabling, Dan?
I just have my other report that I'll be turning in. I'll have it completed by next meeting, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Is that information on that, informational permit in this big packet? Or in this? Thank you.
right after the minutes, March 5th minutes.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay, we have a motion, a second to leave pending. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Nay.
I sustain.
It's not enough. Gotta have 3.
So that leaves it right where it's at then, which is basically pending.
Okay. Informational permit, fairgrounds.
correct, that was on the agenda last time, and you had some questions that you had about the project, and I have Greg here tonight to answer all those questions.
Okay.
And I have less to answer questions you asked me.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Questions from the board? Chuck, did you have any questions?
No, I looked it over and, figure they have, did get licensed. We were requesting at a minimum put locator wire on the pipes and whatever's gonna be buried because, invariably, when anything goes on over there, they ask me, and that is a county thing over there, so, should be able to verify some of that stuff with locator wire, so questions where this is, where that's at, and one thing and another thing. That would be the only request I'd have is that they locate wire on the new stuff they're putting in.
Anything from the board? Motion to accept with the locator wire to be included.
Do we need,
We don't need a motion for informational permits, do we?
I don't know if we do or not, but it has the locator wire, so there's a, I don't know. Yes,
and it is on private property, so it's just a recommendation.
okay, thank you. Okay,
I also have a permit for, Jerry Stiles to replat, a property, 2024-03. And I did put some emails on there from Custer County. We're gonna be following a new procedure where there'll be about 9 people over at Custer County that will I'll send it over to them first before we get the Mylar, and they will redline it and look at it, and if there's any issues, we can contact the engineer at that time before the Mylar is printed and get those changes made. So we're gonna have a new step-by-step thing that we're gonna be following. But Jerry already had his in. We just met with them last Thursday. Last Thursday, Terry and I went to Custer County to meet with planning over there to just get all of our questions answered on how we're handling our claims.
Motion to approve.
do I have a second?
I'll second for discussion.
Okay, discussion?
I'm just curious, Jerry, here it is. The tract 8Z,
Yes,
the odd shaped one in the back. So basically there's only a very slight amount of frontage to that. And that is where the driveway is gonna be?
yes,
That-
the property can be entered from 2 locations. It can be entered from off of 3rd Street, and it can also be entered off of the alley on the east side. If you go up, there's a, it's L1, there's actually a 10-foot alley there also, and it's also 29 feet, so there's 30-some feet there. So the property can be entered in 2 different locations.
And are you, I presume you're just thinking of selling this property? Or is
Doesn't
there,
matter.
What's that?
are you selling the property or building on it, or? The question I have here, in the past, the fire department would not have appreciated that plat. Because if there's a home or a garage or anything on that, it's hard to get into. And I realize it's about a half an acre lot. Of course, that includes the 2 long thin areas. So I don't see how you could put a house on that very easily and the fire trucks have opportunity to turn around. It appears to me like they'll have to back up.
Well, if the fire department comes in, they can make a loop. They can enter off of the alley on Folsom Street, and they can exit on 3rd Street. They wouldn't have to turn around.
Pretty tight corners, depending on where the house is at. Or the building, whatever it is, you know.
In his defense, there's another area here that goes through a private driveway, goes down an alley and then into a yard. So this is just as accessible as that is, in my humble opinion.
And how long has that one been here?
Probably 1.5 years, 2 years,
Where's that?
down in the trailer park. Goes across through Jenny Hawes's, a little bit down an alley and then in, and there is no loop. Once you go in the yard, you don't come back out, you have to back up.
Oh, are you talking about the new house?
It's a double wide. So it's just as accessible as that is, if not easier.
I guess that'll be something we would have to address within, when a building permit or whatever comes in and all that, so.
I guess my expectation is when you address it, when the building permit comes in, that it's treated the same as it was for the individual down there who only has one way in, as Vicky's mentioned. That will be my expectation.
I
Duly noted. Yes, ma'am.
I understand that. I just, the easiest way for me to explain that is two wrongs don't make a right.
You were on the board,
And-
you were on the board when you voted for it.
Yeah, I probably was.
You were and you voted
Jerry?
for it.
You're not raising hands, stuff. Follow the protocol. All those in favor of?
What are you figuring on?
To approve.
Approve this plat.
Oh, okay,
Aye.
yay,
Aye.
yay.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Linda?
I said aye.
Okay. 3-1. Okay, motion passes. Okay. Discussion on rezoning of 304 East Main Street from commercial to residential. I need a motion to remove. Yes,
Do you want to remove these other ones at the same time?
sure could.
B and C and D?
So remove B, C, and D.
So move.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Claims, review of payroll and claims. I request a motion to approve as presented or amended.
So moved for discussion.
Do I have a second?
Sure.
Discussion?
Just the Fifth and Manning, what was that one? I didn't get to see the invoice. I looked for what you had here, but
That,
Oh, that, is that the, valve boxes? Fifth and Manning? Yeah, they were a foot under the ground. We dug them up and put right height adjusters on them. As with the new construction, on that vacant lot, my feeling was if anything went wrong, we had to shut that main down. Those valves were not exposed. So, they're approximately a foot under, so we've been, it took us several hours to dig them up and clean them up and put the right height adjusters on.
thank you.
Linda?
I do have pictures of that if anybody wants to see it.
Okay, thank
I
you.
went over and took pictures.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Law enforcement abatement and complaints, Marshall's report. We do not have one. Custer County log, we do not have. Abatements, Donna.
Well, there's been some controversy on the yard waste down there, but I think we need to work on that in a work session. Because, it says yard waste collection is limited to residents who live within the municipal town limits. So does that mean Fairgrounds Place can use the yard waste or not?
It's going back and forth and back.
That's why I think we need to work on it in a work session. And make it one way or the other. Because I know that an individual down there that is a resident, he did call and ask permission, and Chuck did tell him, yes, that he could use it, and so we need to have it in black and white as to which way it can be.
We need to have a final black and white.
Yeah, because I honestly believe that Fairgrounds Place should be able to use the waste dumpster. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Legal, Mr. Johnson.
These three items will still be in executive session. I thought we addressed them before last time we were here. Executive session.
Do you want them in executive session again? Okay. Okay. Anything further?
No.
Okay. Engineer. Approval for KLJ Engineering to develop task orders. That is their pending lagoon bidding and construction management. We have a letter for approval to be signed, and Gail will elaborate on that.
So Anthony, the engineer, called today and he said that FEMA needs to have a requirement that sends letters to the surrounding property owners around the lagoon to inform them of, let me just quickly read this to you. The flood insurance rate map firm for a community depicts the special flood hazard area, the area that has been determined to be subject to a 1% or greater chance of flooding in any given year. The firm, which is the flood insurance rate map, is used to determine flood insurance rates and to help the community with floodplain management. The town of Hermosa is applying for a conditional letter of map revision, which is a CLOMR, from the Federal Emergency Management Agency to revise firm, and then there's the number, the project number, for Custer County, South Dakota, along the Ferguson split of the Battle Creek. The town of Hermosa is proposing to expand the town's lagoons as part of its state revolving fund project. The proposed project will result in increases in the 1% annual chance water surface elevations for a portion of the Ferguson split. Once the project has been completed, a letter of map revision, which is a LOMR, request should be submitted that will in part revise the following flood hazards along the Ferguson split. This letter is also to inform you of the potential changes to the effective flood hazard information that would result after the project is completed and a LOMR request is submitted to FEMA. Maps and a detailed analysis of the proposed flood hazard revisions can be reviewed at the town office. If you have any questions, please contact the town town engineer. He said in total we have 8 letters that need to be put on the town letterhead and signed. He says he needs the 8 copies immediately to FEMA. And so what's happened is that he can download everything to the FEMA website now. And then once they get these letters, we've met the requirements that they can now start to review our project. This is probably going to speed things up a lot faster than what we'd hoped. He didn't want to give us a real good time frame, but it could be quite a few days that this is going to speed things up, and that then we can get things going with the project. So these letters will need to be signed, and I'll scan them over and send them right away to him in the morning. If you'd like me to tell you who they are, it's Alan Weiner, Brian Grassman. He's the new person that moved into the new trailer down there. Notice to the Custer County Fairgrounds, to Van Zambeek's, the Negebauer Brothers, Lesnick's, and then USERA, and then the Wooden Shoe Ranch would get these letters. And so he's requested that we get these on letterhead and get them sent over to him right away in the morning.
Thank you.
Oh, he said that the people do not have to respond. We don't need anything from them at all. We just need to inform them of what's happening.
I'll make a motion to approve those.
Second.
Further discussion? All
So
those
is
in favor?
Wyland Leonard on that list? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Wyon Leonard would be, I think, under the, I'm assuming the Negebauer Brothers Dairy, I think. Wyon would be under that
More
one.
than likely. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, thanks.
Do you have this letter? Because I can't find it. I had it here. For some reason, in our shuffling back and forth,
Which letter?
the land application answer.
I don't, you said you didn't know what that was.
I think that was an answer when he talked about whatever.
Oh, that's what that is, Vicki. Okay, so
Okay,
Dan,
thank you.
a couple of meetings ago, you asked if we would check about the land application. That's, sorry about that.
No,
We didn't
that's fine. I
write
just
that
was
out well
thinking.
enough. And so, Anthony talked to DNR, and he said he talked to Kyle.
Right, I
Yes.
read it.
Oh, you, yeah, it's in the
All right.
packet. Okay, that's, yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So,
And so did Anthony understand that we're not land applying next to the lagoon, that it's actually being pumped out by Sanders and hauled? And that the property that it was able to be land applied on is approved by the state?
yes, yes, he does know that. Oh, you mean approved by the state?
Yeah, to be
Well-
able to apply it on the rancher's land. That
Well,
the whole
it was
questioning.
approved before, but he knows where he knows where we wanted to put it. That we had landowners that said that they would take that would take the water.
Right,
But, so he does know that.
and that's why my question was that to constitute this to go to Hot Springs versus that he understands, it isn't land applying on land that we were previously permitted from, and that's where the confusion in the letter was that aspect of it. And that's why I tried to make that very clear to Anthony to understand. They have to be very clear to Kyle about that, so that he understands, yes, we understand the timelines and the deadlines and when the approvals are, but it's also not in this application. Our permit isn't in this application, it's a total different application. So I don't know, maybe a call to Anthony to express that?
I'm quite positive, but I will verify that for us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Stiles?
Just input from the past. What we're asking to do is what the state had made sure we had to quit doing on the 31st of October, is because we couldn't land apply outside what was already in our permit. Even though at that point in time, we were land applying on those places. So the question was pretty much, can we go back and do what we were doing before you had to stop? And they just read the answer to that.
Thank you. Trina?
Why did we have a settlement with the state? What was the state's concern? And are we still paying FEMA fines for,
Oh, for land applying?
yeah?
Mitch?
I don't know the answer.
Jerry?
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, we're actually paying DA and an R fines yet on that. And what the land application fines was because of the lagoon project itself and not being bid out on the timeline that it was supposed to be bid out. And so that's where we were not allowed to pump out. And to be able to lower the lagoon to standards what we need to do or to prepare for construction, we had to hire Sanders to pump it out. And so, yes, we are still in fines. Yes, we are pumping it out. But as it was made a statement in the last one that we're not even making a dent in it. As much influent comes in every day is more than what we pump out.
So what was the settlement with the state? What was that about?
That was prior, when we evolved around the CMOM application, where we had an agreement with them, because we pumped at a wrong time, where we have to stop pumping at October 31st.
Gotcha.
And we went beyond that one day. And so then that's when they fined us, and we went negotiations. And then we have what's called a CMOM agreement, which is a Bible that we have to follow now.
Also needs to be understood that if we had gotten a little bit of lagoon expanded in a timely fashion, we wouldn't have this issue. Okay. Public Works, Mr. Ferguson.
On the streets, I don't have anything, but potholes were patched at the last meeting was repaired. The alley out here was fixed, and that was all old news, been done. The only other thing that's possibly on the streets is Tower Hill, and a couple of the board members looked at that to see what was to be done there. Street lights, they were down and very expensive. They replaced one light and fixed another. I believe everything is, and we had one PAL light repaired by Black Hills Electric. There's no charge on those. That's part of the agreement, I believe, that when we put those in, that they do the maintenance on them. They just charge us monthly for each one. Any questions?
Marge?
Were you able to repair the street light up here on North Second and Folsom?
Yes, 2 weeks ago,
Yay.
or maybe longer.
Thanks, Chuck. Keep going.
The water, it's gonna come up and down further about the resealing of the tank. And I was up there yesterday, and there's very, very minimal moisture around there, so either the sediment is built up enough that it sealed it off, or whatever. We still, somewhere along the line, to isolate that tank, I've got to repair that valve up there, and it's becoming more difficult to get those repair parts. That valve is locked closed, and what's making it be that way, we do not know. It will have to be dug up, and if we intend to work on the big tank. The other thing is sewer, and we've already discussed the pumping of it. I do see that they are gaining some. And of course, they don't pump every day, so when they miss a day or two or three or whatever, then, but you can see physically on the shoreline that it is going down. And of course, we've had some very high winds and some temperatures that affect that greatly. So, one of the things that I had a discussion with, you know, we had an issue with leaving the gates open, and when there were cattle in there, and that's kind of falling on deaf ears, but it took the cattle out, so that's not an issue anymore.
Good.
The last time I checked on them, they were not using the barrel that we put in, and when I questioned the guy about it, he said, well, I thought that was only when it was freezing. I said, no, that's not the case, because we don't want your hose touching the bottom. And that's why we went to the extent of putting in a barrel that they would pump out of forever and ever and ever. So I said, were you told not to pump out of the barrel, or what's the reasoning here? Well, he didn't have a real good answer, but I said, in the future, I would like to see the hose go into the barrel. So that's pretty much the way that is. The geese are starting to nest, that wheat and stuff have dried out enough that they can be burnt, but I just assume not disturb the nest at this point. I don't know projected time when they're gonna hatch, but you know, that is environmentally friendly for the geese over there, so that's kind of the end of that story.
Mr. Stiles, you had your hand up.
Yes. When we were looking at pumping of the lagoons, one of the things that we did, I believe Linda was in the meeting, we had the KLJ engineer in the meeting, and one of the things and Chuck was in the meeting, one of the things we went back and looked at the last 7 years of pumping, and the last 7 years of pumping showed that there was only an average of probably around 900,000 gallons pumped per year. And if you look at the rate that's coming in to the pond and what was had to have pumped out in the past, that the pond is actually leaking. There's no doubt about that. So, you know, it's effluent out of the bottom of it. So. And that's why when we looked at it, we figured that the 500,000 gallons that we were going to have minimum that we were going to have Sanders pump, along with increasing the running pond B and C in surcharge, which will give us another, about 700 gallons capacity, 700,000 gallons of capacity would have been more than what the average was in the past. So I think it's important to look at running, as it was agreed to in the past but hasn't been done, running pond B and C and surcharge, and try that before going on and bumping over what the minimum was. Because that should get us through the 1st of May.
Okay, thank you. Chuck, anything? Yes, ma'am.
The next part, I guess, is we're still on sewer. The company that came to town to put in the new residence over on Manning Street, they hit the main, and I was there during the repairs. Linda came over and looked, and they did a good job of repairing it. However, when we camera it and look at it, it always looks worse from the inside. The one at Hammer's house there, cameraing it, it looked horrible. And I physically, years ago, dug down and looked at that repair, and they did a very good job of repairing it. So these guys, of course, they had trouble finding the gaskets to fit it and that kind of stuff. But it was repaired, and it was running almost 3/4 full at the time, so that hampered the repairs big time on what had to happen and one thing and another. So basically, that's done, and they made the tap, and they tapped, back on the water, they tapped the 6-inch main there, and I'd made recommendations what I wanted to see for saddles and that type of thing. Those were not used, but what they put on there is approved, so I don't see any problems with anything so far that's going on there. I think that's, we discussed the fairground situation, and I think that's it. But, we actually had an incident at the lift station, and rapid rooters came down. There was a blockage, and it was kind of ironic that we discovered it, and there was nothing wrong with the lift station. However, that bill reflects very expensive. They charge $350 for transportation from Rapid City to Hermosa, and they do have a high pressure jetter now, and, they jetted that line, but what happens when those pumps plug up, and, sometimes it backs the mains up, and there might not be enough daily flow to keep those open, so whatever was in there, they got it open, but it was like $700, wasn't it, Gail, or something for them to come down?
837.
837, which is horrible, I mean, in my book, but, we got it open and averted a disaster, so. And then we kind of talked about that a little bit, about jetting some of these mains. I believe they're like $1.15 a foot, which is quite a little less than what Pace is talking about. However, they don't have a back truck, and the back truck is very essential in that jetting and cleaning, and that the back truck actually sucks up whatever is kicked loose in the mains and that type of thing. So it's nice to know that they have this in case we have other problems along the way. But like I said, there's $350 mobilization from Rapid City to here. I believe is a little tough. And we didn't get them right away. They had other things going. So I think that's.
So it was $837.50 for,
Correct.
okay,
And,
plus you had another $250 for,
pulling the pumps. I think it's probably somewhat related. How would you know? The Pace situation, we have signed that agreement. What we need is to determine how many feet we actually want to do. And they have set like I mentioned at the last meeting, they've set a date of May to come down and physically do that. And, we have skipped a couple of different times, and once it was not in the budget to have it done. So we've done what they call the blue route. 90% of our problems are roots, and I'm not very happy with the way that turned out. I don't think it was near as successful as what they had promised us what it would do. The foaming agent that goes in there, once it makes contact with the roots, is supposed to kill them immediately. And when you jet them out and then you look at them, you can tell whether they're alive or dead, the roots themselves. So we'll know a lot more about it when they jet the whole thing again in May. And I think that's it.
can I back you up to item E, approval to assess Ferguson subdivision for lift station expenses. So you had $837.50 plus $250 from when the carpet stuff was in the other lift station, is that correct?
Yes.
So if that's divided amongst each resident down there, that is an assessment of $28 a person.
27 something, yes.
Okay. So the board needs to discuss if they're going to approve assessing that to the Ferguson subdivision. Yes, sir.
Well, it brought up the other time it failed to charge those people. Gail looked at it to see there was one abstain and one nay to charge. So, Gail?
So to backtrack a little bit, we've had this on the agenda for a few weeks because we weren't sure if we were going to assess them, if we were going to be able to assess them just on a regular basis without having to come to the board every time. You asked me to do some research on that because you had thought that there was a motion that just said we, the finance office, can assess whenever we need to. I looked back at minutes, I couldn't find that. I found where we did assess them, but I could not find where we made a motion, or the board made a motion to assess them when a bill came through. So the motion failed, Chuck, but it was also, there was another motion to have me do that research and bring it back to this meeting, and that's why it's still on the agenda. So what's happened is that we have the $250 that we had billed from Ferguson Construction, but now we have this $837.50 from Rapid Rooter that added to that assessment. So this agenda item's changed somewhat from the previous meetings because we've possibly added Rapid Rooter onto this if the board so chooses to do that. But we have assessed the Ferguson subdivision development before. I know that people have said that I don't dump anything down there, why would I get assessed? But we've written letters, we've told the Ferguson people that, or subdivision citizens, that we don't know who's doing it, so we have to assess everybody. It's pretty minor when it's just Ferguson construction bill, but now that we've added this $837 bill, it's a little bit higher. It could get somebody's attention. It's like Vicki said, it's right around $28 for assessment. So I'd ask the board to just make a motion to either assess the $250 and or the $187.50.
$887.50.
I mean, excuse me, $1,087.50 because it's $837.50 plus the $250. If the board so chooses to do that.
Yeah.
And you found where we had sent the letters
Right, I saw.
and warned and
correct.
given notice
Yes.
about it. And that was 30 days prior to when we ever did any actions too.
Correct, because we had to get it into the bill and.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to assess the $1,087.50.
Do I have a second? I'll second it. Any further discussion? Yes, ma'am.
If you can't find the source of the issue, and it's a public line, then why would you just assess the people in that area? Because that area is the only one that uses that one.
Correct.
Yes.
But who's to say that that's even a resident down there? I mean, I get I can visualize the map, right? So, I mean, it just seems like you're encouraging an argument. And if you just said, you know, we have major repairs due on a city line, and it's a city issue, and everybody in the city takes, you know, 10 cents of that, but you can't do that, or you just not accustomed to that, go ahead.
Gail?
Well, Trina, if I probably should put this onto Chuck, but the people can't lift up the lift station and throw stuff down there. It only comes from those Ferguson subdivision citizens.
It should be locked, right? I mean.
Well, yes, and it's heavy, and
Yeah.
it's not possible for a citizen to just dump something down that. If you could see what happens inside of there, every citizen should actually see that, what comes out and what happens in those lift stations, because you would be appalled at what happens down in.
My husband used to do that, so, yeah, he's told me.
I mean, it's not comfortable for us to have to do that,
Right,
but we've written letters and we've asked people if you could see the stuff that comes out of there. There's towels. This last time it was carpeting.
weird.
Shreds of carpeting.
But it's not the fairgrounds at all, that's separate.
No.
No.
And unfortunately, this bill got a little higher than the other bills. It's been only like $6 in the past, but this was a pretty major event with the Rapid Rooter having to come down and line that out.
Donna?
Well, the lid has to be lifted off with the a backhoe, so it's not like some kid's gonna pick it up and dump something down there. Because if does it, they're more than likely gonna drop it and break it. So you know that somebody has messed with it. And I mean, it is Ferguson subdivision residents that uses that lift station.
Well, I appreciate taking a minute to.
Oh, no problem. That's what we're here for. Try and answer your questions if we can. But the pictures that Chuck had of the carpet in there was just unbelievable. Why would you flush carpet?
How'd you get it to flush?
Well, that's exactly my question too. How'd it get down there?
Yeah.
Chuck?
I'll try to clarify that a little. I put that lift station in 22 years ago, and as the development increased, there's 36 houses that are on that, and it's coming from several different directions. And that lift station is 21 foot deep, and it has a concrete lid on it with an inspection hole that has a locking lid on it. So to give you some idea, you know, what we found in there is unbelievable. Obviously, the last time there was a sock on it, there's 2 3-horsepower grinder pumps that are in there. And they absolutely do not tolerate, you know, foreign material that it can't grind. So when we opened this sewer over here the other day, there was a t-shirt in there. So they obviously are flushing it down the stools, you know, the manholes covers are very, very heavy. I mean, and some of them are buried even. So it's definitely getting flushed down the stools. There's no question about it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chuck, is there a different type of pump that could be placed in there that would be able to handle that?
There is. The new style pumps are Vortex. They have no moving parts, and they're capable of passing a 2-inch solid. I mean, we've found toothbrushes and goldfish, gravel and toy soldiers and socks and anything that's flushable will end up there, you know. I mean, Q-Tech swabs and feminine parts and all kinds of anything that the pumps won't grind, you know, and then it locks the rotor. So then we have to lift the lid off and physically pull those pumps out. And people are worse than pigs when it comes to, you know, how they handle sewage. And, you know, one of the things I've been going to explain for many, many years along the way, that the sewage system is just as important as the water system, because, you know, for a household to have ample water and be able to, they all kind of figure that once you trip the handle, nobody knows any different. But I do, because I see it every day. And people just have to be mindful. One of the worst things we're dealing with at this point is grease. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Everybody says, well, you know, I go, well, if you don't wipe the pans out after frying something, then, you know, a thimbleful a day amounts to gallons and over a period of time. And we put degreaser in there and it breaks it up, but it still clings to the sidewalls, and it's, you know, you don't want to get too graphic, but it's pretty nasty in there.
Mr. Stiles?
And we've had board members take pictures and look at things that, you know, been retrieved. And
What's the price of those pumps, Chuck?
there's, which one? What's in there now?
No, the ones that you can
Well,
actually.
the Vortex pumps are around $6,000 each. The ones that are in there now, I had turned that lift station over to the city 2 years after I put it in, and one of the pumps went down, so still under warranty. I had I think a year warranty on when so I shoulder the expense of that pump at that time. We do have a backup pump. There's 2 pumps in there, so they alternate. So if we get into an emergency, and I'm quite certain that anybody that's lived down there any amount of time has seen my equipment at that lift station, backhoe, pickups and whatever. So it's designed with a alarm system that goes off if something goes wrong. And invariably it's Sunday afternoon or holiday or something like that, and there's extra people. Christmas is a real joy because lots of people come to visit, and you know, we can pretty much, somebody that's moved in with a new baby is probably a pretty likely culprit.
Mr. Stiles?
I was just wondering, you know, we've had issues with that in the past, and probably, like Chuck says, we're gonna continue to have issues. Would this be an item that maybe you want to put on the budget for next year and have those retrofitted into the other type of pump? So it's not as prevalent of an issue or a problem?
You can sure make note of it, correct, ladies? You can't decide which way to go.
That way.
Donna?
Well, just so she doesn't think, you know, Chuck is the public works man. He is the one that pulls the lid.
What?
And guess what? We'll be assessed also.
Yeah, I know.
Trina?
I see him out there and I feel bad for sure. So you say this has only happened twice in 20 years?
No,
No.
no,
Twice in a year or 2 years?
well, it's probably twice that we started to assess. It's happened,
A lot.
A lot.
Yes.
More than that, yes.
and that was the reason
But
of
the
having to
assessment.
assess, because we just can't keep paying for those issues when it can be avoided. It's simple. You just don't pour grease down the drain. You don't.
Flush socks,
Yeah.
t-shirts,
Mhm.
blankets, rugs, yeah, etc. Okay. All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor of placing the assessment?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I abstain or can I vote aye?
I think you can vote on this one.
I don't see why you can't vote on this one.
I vote aye.
Okay, motion carried. Second Street Bridge guardrail. My understanding was Lon went and repaired it.
Yep,
Kudos to
Gail,
Lon, thank
thank
you
you.
very, very much. Please relay that.
I will, thank you. Gail and I went out to Hilt and got the parts. Was that last Thursday? Last Thursday, man, a lot has happened.
Already a week.
Yeah, wow. And Lon got it done, Friday, I think it was. On Friday he got it done, so. And you seen that I dropped off the old part down at the shop? Okay, thank you. So yes, that little project's done. Did we ever get a bill from them yet?
No, we haven't, and this isn't on the agenda, but we could probably just discuss it for a minute. Once that bill comes in, do I send that to the homeowner for their insurance to pick up
Yep.
for the bill? Okay.
Does she have insurance?
Yes.
Does she have insurance?
Liability. Pace contract you already discussed. Did you were gonna add more territory though?
No, we just need to, you know, they do by the foot, so consequently, you know, we were within the realm of 8 to 10,000 feet, running feet. So, you know, we'll have to look, see what we budgeted for it, and, you know, I've been looking at this system for 40 years, so it's not quite as necessary to jet and clean PVC lines because they're so smooth on the inside that stuff just doesn't build up in that as much as it does in the concrete pipes and clay tile and that kind of stuff. We get videos of what they do, and most generally I like to work with those guys every day they're here. We have to expose the manholes and one thing and another. And like I explained before, that we cut down quite a bit on the footage because what used to happen, they won't run the camera in there unless it's been jetted first, because they want the pipes clean, and you can understand why.
Why?
Because, you know, they don't want to run their tractors that's got little tracks on it that powers the cameras. And so they would jet them, pull them out, and then run the camera in. If they didn't get it all or something was wrong, then, so we were getting hit and double on footage. So I made a suggestion to them 2 or 3 years ago, let's jet up and then follow the jetter back with the camera. Then if we see there's a problem, we can back the camera back up 10, 15 feet, re-jet that area back and forth, and we have a bird's eye view of whether they got the job done the first time or second pass or whatever. So that saved us a huge amount on footage, because so that's the process we're doing now. And so like I said, they'll be coming down, and we've been, you know, we didn't do it the 1 year, and we did little root and that kind of stuff. It's about 90% of our problems are, you know, misalignment of pipe and a low spot or something like that creates problems along the way, but that's picked up. And if it's, you know, something horrible, why we address it, dig it up and fix it. But they have remarked several times for the age, this sewer system was put in 1961. And I'm amazed because, you know, they didn't really have the equipment we have today. And these people that have been jetting and cleaning do stuff all over. They're from Billings, Montana. And they have remarked many times that our system is in remarkably good shape for the age. So it's going to be very beneficial to get it hammered and jetted again soon.
And it's such enjoyable watching.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Love it.
Kind of like watching pasture corn, you know.
What? Okay. So, we are on to Gail. Finance office.
First.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall we remove ENF first?
Sure.
I make a motion to remove ENF out of 11.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to Gail.
Okay, the monthly financials are in the packet. The end of February's statements are in there with the revenue and the treasurer's report. I don't know if anybody has any questions, but I will be happy to answer. Moving on. Work session agendas, we talked about that at one time, that we were going to try to schedule a couple work sessions, but I know that everybody was pretty overwhelmed in the last couple meetings of some of the meetings we've been having, so I don't know if we want to schedule those yet, or if we want to hold off for another meeting and figure out some dates and talk about it on the next meeting.
I make a move, we wait until next meeting and discuss it.
Could we potentially look at the 9th? Just everybody take a look
April 9th.
and just hold that in mind for the next meeting.
The
Any
9th,
possibility?
not the 10th, the 9th.
Huh?
The 9th. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I was gonna say that is the 9th.
Okay, April 9th we're holding, just for possibility?
Just for possibility.
Okay. All right, continuing on, department updates. I haven't talked to Anthony regarding, Anthony's the engineer, I haven't talked to him this yet, but 2 serious bills that came out of the legislature this year were Senate Bill 53 and Senate Bill 66. Senate Bill 53 is an act to make an appropriation for eligible water and wastewater projects and to declare an emergency. Any amounts appropriated in this act are not lawfully expended or obligated by June 30th, 2027 shall revert. I think the town should be looking to see what we can do, if we can get any of those millions of dollars that are sitting out there that have been made eligible through the South Dakota legislature. There's two acts, or there's two bills. Senate Bill 66 was eligible for water, wastewater, and stormwater projects throughout the state government and to declare an emergency. If anybody wants to see these bills, I have a copy of them available for you.
I would like to.
Okay. I think probably what we might want to do is maybe do a little more investigating, maybe have the engineer see if we can figure out what we can do to get some of those funds rather than letting them just go to everybody else, and see what we can do to use up some of those funds. I think Trina has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
If we ask the engineer to do it, we might have to pay him, right?
Well, we will, but that's why I think if the board can just come together, maybe even just on the April 9th meeting, I don't know. I mean, we gotta figure out how we can use some of these funds. There's millions of dollars sitting out there that we should be able to use as well.
Trina?
I was looking into the water stuff, and I called Black Hills Council of Local Government yesterday, and I talked to the executive director there, Stephanie, and she said that they offer grants. I mean, they help, us do grants and stuff, and they don't charge us. Is that correct?
We're actually a member.
Sorry, through
excuse me.
Custer County, I suppose. Maybe we could reach out to them.
That's a great idea.
Good plan. Joe?
When we had her at a meeting, she did also tell us that right now they are so far behind that it would be a while before they could help us with anything like that. Plus the fact that most of these grants require an engineer's input and diagrams and cost effective.
Right.
So you would have the engineer to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
Trina?
Yeah, she did mention that we'd have to have an engineer plan, but she said reach out anytime, and she didn't imply that there was any time issues or constraints.
Okay, thank you.
Dan? That's a good idea, though. Go ahead.
And that was the last time we talked to Stephanie. She thought she was gonna be up to par on staff. They were putting more people on, so it may be a great time to look into it. It's project-ready projects for that 100 million that's sitting out there. If we can get back in line again and look at that situation, it'd be a win-win.
This is incredible, the funds that are out there that.
Have to be used up to 425.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Last
I was
time.
talking to her about water issues, she did say that the state overall is not willing to provide grants for drilling. Just thought I'd mention that. They really are pushing that whole rural water thing.
Okay, thank you.
Can we continue?
Yes.
So I had a boss that went, sorry, this is on tape, but okay. I had a boss at one time that said that no man, woman, or child is safe during the legislative session, and this year it was the year of Barbie. So there's a bill that came out, House Bill 1228, that says there's an act to provide that required exterior hunting garments may be fluorescent pink. So now women and men, children and whatever, can wear fluorescent pink when they hunt rather than fluorescent orange. So I thought that you guys might all enjoy that. Thought that was very interesting.
Okay. Tracking items.
Tracking items, it's just in the,
Yep,
there's just in the packet.
yep. Okay, and then we need,
Approval to add Terry to the bank signature card.
I need a motion, correct?
Mhm.
I'll make the motion.
I have a second. Further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Hermosa Connects vendor fair permit. Need a
Yeah.
motion, oh, yes,
You wanna remove that one there too?
sure.
So moved.
Okay,
Second that.
thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, Hermosa Connects. You wanted to remove?
It was the vendor fair permits is what we needed to remove from the agenda.
Okay. Vendor fair permit removal from agenda. Do I have a motion, please?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
So
Sure.
moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Removal of, need a motion to remove, reprimand trustee Housewith for being disrespectful and calling a board member a name.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Motion fails. So, stays on the agenda. Okay, new business. Motion to enact a fee for vendor permits, Hermosa Community Center fireworks.
So what that is, that's Brangles. We're had a question. This is Lane and Nick, Brangle from the Hermosa
Hi,
Community
Nick.
Center.
Nice to see you again.
And they wanted to talk about the vendor permit for fireworks.
Yeah, last year, we didn't realize there was a 5% looking at the vendor, or the fee. We were wondering if we needed 9 days, how would we do that, and there's still a 5% fee on that, because it looks like it's on the fee schedule off the website. It only shows 5% for the monthly, but the 1 day and 7 day, there's nothing about 5%. We were wondering why we had to pay we were told to pay 5% last year, when we did 10 days.
Do we have an explanation?
It's on your schedule, right? It's on the ordinance.
It's in the packet. The schedule's in the packet.
Just wanted to get clarification, okay, if we were to go do a 9-day permit for fireworks this year, what is the fee gonna be, and they're gonna be 5%?
I'm assuming Mitch is reading.
Well, I'm trying to figure out. These fees aren't in the ordinance, this is set by,
Set by the fee schedule.
resolution. So is the
Well,
fee schedule
if you
here,
see
is
in the
this-
ordinance 113.08,
Right,
there's fireworks sales fees as per fee schedule.
right, is this the fee schedule?
No, the fee schedule is, right after that ordinance page there, Mitch.
Oh, here it is, okay.
Mhm. And you'll see it's right about the 5th or 6th line up from the bottom.
Vendor permits,
Correct.
so we got a 1 day, 7 day, and a month. What's the question?
We got, what, for 10 days last year, we were told we had to pay 5%. I just wanted to understand why, we weren't even close to monthly. And we paid the extra 3 days, $25 a day to do 10 days, but plus 5%, we're trying to understand why we got charged 5% on top of that.
Vicki?
Yes, sorry. Yes, ma'am.
I don't think we have all the information here to go through to find that out. Should we not check into some minutes and
Sure can.
leave this pending and get that checked into
Okay.
and come back to it at the next meeting?
Is that okay with you?
So what information do you need? I guess, but I have the information right here, I don't see
Right.
what else you need, but I'm confused by that. But
Me too. It's in the fee schedule, but it's on the vendor permit fee, but, I mean, vendor permit application,
I don't know, what's it been in the past?
The 5%.
When you have a more than a 7-day fee, is it bump up to a month? Is that how it's looked at?
for the vendor, for the 5% or for
Yeah.
the,
If you bump, you got 7 days, $100, and there's 0 sales percentage. And then it jumps to monthly, so everything over 7 days is treated as monthly?
well, the way that I understand it, it's,
Well, I don't know what it's under your understanding, I just wanna know what you guys have been doing. 'Cause
it's
nobody ever
5%
comes
of the
in-
sales. I think that this is a little misleading in the fee schedule. It looks like it's monthly. It should be 5% after 1 day. It should be 5% after the 7
Oh.
days. It should be 5.
Always?
Yeah,
Yes.
mhm.
Oh, okay.
Because
I
they
would
paid
argue-
5%.
I would argue, why 5%, why are you punishing the business, people trying to, if we pay sales tax to the state, to the city, why are you adding another 5%, you're preventing businesses wanting to do business in town. I don't get this as a threat, but I have the opportunity to take it outside the town. Then you guys miss out on all sales tax. I'm trying to help the town, but I'm also can't afford to pay 5%.
Plus the sales tax.
Plus the sales tax and the fee. I mean, I'm trying to pay the bills too, just like everybody. So I'm also questioning why they're 5% for monthly, but I'm here for the permit, but I do question 5%. And I will say, I've talked to several other fireworks vendors, and they've never quoted this anywhere in North Dakota or South Dakota, except for Hermosa. So I was just kind of questioning why we're paying extra 5%.
I don't have an answer.
I don't either. All I can say is
It was, I don't,
go back to the minutes and, see if we can figure that out, but I don't have an answer for it either. So. We could also put it on the work session for the 9th to go, or whenever we have one, to go through this again.
Vicki.
Put on the minutes right here, and if the motion was made, second to approve the vendor permit application with fee of $150 and 5% of gross sales, vote all ayes, motion carried. So it was pretty clear at that time.
But when you look at the schedule fee, it doesn't have that 5% on there. And I think what happened is that form you fill out, it looked like 5% for each one of those, but on the schedule fee, it's not there, so that's why I was gonna say, can we do 10 days, and we pay the 150? No 5%.
So do we need to charge the 5%?
well,
Which would make more money for us.
Well,
5% or the 150,
well,
or both.
I understand where his concern is. He's paying sales tax, he's paying a vendor permit fee. The board just actually waived vendor permit fees for a group of people 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Non-profit, correct.
That's correct, but, pardon me? But I agree. I mean, you want business to come into town, he has to pay sales tax, he has to pay the vendor permit fee. The 5% is, I don't know where the 5% came from. I don't know how the board came up with 5%.
Mr. Halsey.
And I get where you're coming from. We did have another fireworks company years ago that did also sell, and they actually came in and gave us, I believe it was over $500 on that permit too, with the 5% that they had done back in them circumstances. It had been over 10 years ago. But the motion kind of, unfortunately, puts everything black and white as far as where our fee schedule is and where our circumstances were and what the direction was on it. and I guess that's when we should have probably caught it, clear back in that motion and.
Well, and I didn't
clarify
realize it until later when we looked at it, it was like, well, I thought the 5% was talking about sales tax. Well, yeah, we had to pay sales tax. I didn't realize it was additional, not when that's why we're bringing it up now before we have to get a permit.
Mr. Stiles?
Yes, I think, again, I'm very proactive for businesses coming into town and being able to make a profit and be beneficial in town. I think Linda bring up that we look at it at the next work session, and maybe that resolution needs to be completely redone, because he's already paying the 2%, and he's already paying the $150. And there's just only so much markup, because he has to get the product, and he probably only gets a percentage of what he sells. And so we really need to look at a way to move forward as a town to make sure we keep businesses here in town.
Donna?
That's kind of what I was gonna, I think we should waive the 5% this year.
Okay. Mike?
2 cents from another citizen, that place is pretty important to my daughter. A lot of the kids come together there, a lot of great events. I think it would behoove the board to do everything possible to make it as easy as possible on these folks.
So that'd be my motion, then
What would that be?
remove the 5%.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan.
I second that.
Across the board for all vendors, right?
And that's where I
Not just
believe
these gentlemen.
we need to
Everyone.
So
look
you're
at
5% across the board for all vendors.
this particular incident, and then we need to look at it in a work session.
Wait a
Okay.
minute.
Wait a minute, you can't discriminate against others.
No, you can't,
It
but we
needs to
can
be-
change the
It
wording.
needs to be treated, everybody needs to be treated the same, that's in the same posture. So if you're gonna waive the 5%, you might as well just eliminate it altogether for all vendors.
Okay,
Okay,
so
just a
does,
minute, just a minute.
That's-
There's a motion on the floor.
We have a motion on the floor.
I mean, otherwise you're gonna get.
So Dan, your motion is,
ABC Incorporated coming in here saying, why are we paying the 5% when they didn't have to?
Let's let this motion die, and I'll make another motion.
okay,
I'd like to make a motion that we're going to remove the 5% and that we go into the next work session to change it in our fee schedule so that it reflects it straight across the board.
okay. Donna?
so the
Really seconding.
Oh, sorry. I thought
Okay, I'll
that's what you
second with
meant.
discussion.
Okay.
So the vendors that come in for the vendor fair, or the thing in June, they pay 5% too?
No.
So then why are we,
Dan?
We waived all the fees. We made a motion
okay,
to
so then
waive.
I feel that his fees should be waived too. It's only fair.
Dan?
But this was non-profit for the Hermosa Connects.
Well, I
Where
realize
this
that,
is
but,
for a profit on what we did on their vendor circumstance and kept it at a reasonable rate even at that.
Trina, did you have more?
I don't have more. I agree with where the direction's going. I was just gonna say that, he didn't have to pay the $300, and when you look at this, the 5% is not monthly. And so we don't have a right to ask him the 5% when you're looking at this, because our paperwork doesn't match. It's not his fault.
Okay, Donna, last comment.
so, okay, so we're talking about vendor fees. What about the ones that have the food trucks?
Gail?
There's a motion to talk about this in the work session.
Okay.
And maybe that's what we do, is bring it into the work session
I think we
since
need
it's
to.
not even,
It's all kinds of different stuff. We're
Mhm.
here, there, and everywhere.
I agree with that.
okay.
Okay. So, Dan, your motion was, will you read that back?
To remove the 5% and to go into the next work session discussing this so that,
No, to change
to,
the 5%
to-
on the fee schedule to reflect it all straight across the board.
Okay.
You're talking to remove the 5% across the board, or discuss to remove it, or act?
Remove it across the board so it's even.
Yeah, just so I was clear, that's all I
You
know.
know,
Okay. Any other comments? Linda, did you have one?
I did have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that we talked about that a couple of weeks ago about vendors and permits and everything, and one of the things that I did learn is that a lot of the vendors, when we were told that they aren't charged permit fees, it's because a lot of these people that are the vendors go into community centers, that the community centers are owned by the town. They charge the rent to the entity that is hosting the, like, I'll just give you a holistic fair, at all these vendors, but the community center is a town owned. So they get revenue from events. They may not get it right straight from the vendors, but they do in a way, because the vendors have to pay rent to the community center. So Hermosa's in kind of a catch-22 that we can't always, I mean, the vendor, we're losing a lot of revenue on the permits because of the Hermosa Connects being a nonprofit, and I understand that. I'm all for the Hermosa Connects event, I totally, but it's just too bad that Hermosa doesn't have that community type of center that we can charge that rent and pull that revenue in.
Anything else?
I did have one more question,
Yes,
just to make
sir.
sure I'm clear. So if we were to get set up for the permit, we can go ahead and do the 9-day permit, and get that rolling, and it would be $125 a day, 'cause I think it was prorated $25 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
as soon as we change this. Right now, it's still on the books, but we need to change it, but it would reflect that, in my opinion. And it's not to say, just like Gail said, you know, when the vendors come in, I still feel they need to fill out a vendor permit, even if they're coming to Hermosa Connect, so we know they're insured, we know their sales tax, we know they're doing their job. Even though we're not charging them, we still need the accountability. And I feel that needs to be a reflection, just like our ordinance says. It is pretty clear in here about nonprofits, but they still have to feel all of that out under the exemptions portion of what our ordinance says, so.
I can relay that to Hermosa Canucks.
Yep. And then whether we want to change fee schedules then to make an adjustment of when we're getting rid of the 5% can be dealt with then.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Linda?
Nay.
Motion carried. Gravel on Tower Hill, I would like that tabled for now. We need to get specifics for the bid to be put out. I'd like to have those by next meeting. I'm going to meet with Wade and we will go over what his specifications are and I will bring it at the next meeting. And
Yes, ma'am, and then I'll also have that, when I did meet with Wade, that I'll write up and give you guys too, that is exactly what he conveyed to me, so that way you can go over it with him.
Pending?
okay,
Pen-
whatever.
Pending?
Pending. Donna, did you have a comment?
Yes, I did, because Mr. Halsworth, you're not on the street, so I don't understand why you're involved in this.
That's why I was trying to talk to Wade on my own. And that's what we had agreed to, but I'd prefer, Dan, that you, since you are not on the committee, you wait for the bid to come through and then you can put your bid in with the bid perspective. Yes?
Yep,
Last
and I
comment.
will withdraw that in that circumstance, but if you remember the conversation, it was talked about, and an easement was brought up about me. I was willing to meet with Donna, Chuck, to go over it, so
Yes, but
my apologies, and I will withdraw that bid and allow it to be put together and you guys finish it up.
I prefer that it was put down in writing what the specs are, and then if you want to bid, whatever.
Thank you.
Okay, Donna?
But can he bid, being he's a board member? A
That would be a
conflict of
Mitch
It
interest.
depends on how much we're talking about here. I mean, what
It's
is
under the requirement.
it under 5,000?
Well, see, okay, in Chuck's contract, he can, anything that's under $3,000,
What?
he can do it as a job.
Chuck, what is, I don't know what Chuck
The
is.
public works man.
I'm not tracking.
Well,
Let's get the bid prospectus and go from there. That's my suggestion. So that is tabled.
May I have a comment, please?
Yes.
That will be, what the requirements are will be sent out to other people that are interested, right?
Absolutely. As of next meeting, it will be in a bid proposal. Okay?
I'd be interested in seeing.
Because he
Okay.
was for a couple hundred.
All right. Item C, West River Coalition Cat Care Group. Connie, do you have a report?
Well, I think we've just wrapped up our third and final mass cat trapping. I made many trips up there in the middle of the night to check traps, and we were catching ones that we had fixed already. So those were rehomed, and then the traps brought back up and reset. I got the ones from the greenhouse, so there's 3 caught there. One had already been rehomed, so he went back again to hopefully stay this time. The other one we ended up having fixed, and the third we had to have euthanized. It had a pretty massive wound, and the vet and I decided just to put it down. It was pretty bad.
It's a good thing for the cat then.
Yep.
So
we
the
got,
greenhouse you're referring to,
Dan's house over here.
where are they hiding out there?
There was just 3 that they never would come over to the other Folsom house to eat. They stayed right there. So,
Nobody saw where they were going to home themselves?
well, there's an old doghouse in the backyard, so I'm guessing maybe that's where they've been sleeping. I don't know. All I know is there's 3 colonies. At the trailer park's one, at the Folsom house that Jerry owns was the other, in the greenhouse. Had a small colony that they all each protected their own area. So there's really not any cats, so to speak, left over here. There's 3, but they live at the trailer park, and if I drive around, they hear my car, so then they run over thinking they're gonna get something, but I can't catch them in a trap.
Okay.
They will not go in it. So we're pretty much done. We don't have enough funds to do another massive trapping. The trailer park, the West River Coalition is more than happy to work with the trailer park. Just because so many people do have pets, they are cats in their homes. You can see them in the windows. You can see cat food dishes sitting out. So I can't legally go in there. Well, we've been banned from the property to start with because we're not removing them. But somebody's gonna have to go door to door, whether it's Mr. Rogenthien himself to find out whose cats or what, but the coalition will work with them on a low cost spay and neuter. They're gonna have to take care of it themselves, so.
Mr. Rogenthien has that information, or do we need to relay that?
I will bring it up to the town office if they wanna send a
Okay,
letter to him.
that would be
or
good.
whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Item D, reduction in number of newsletter copies. Yes, ma'am.
I would suggest taking that off the agenda and letting us just keep on the number. We had to print some extras this month, so we're at
There was
200.
18 left down at Pops on Saturday.
The month is only half over.
Joan?
Not necessarily on the number of copies, but I did have some other newsletter information I wanted to relay. But as to Donna's comment, the month is only half hours over, so I'm not concerned if there's still some left. But I did want to let the board know that the newsletter has had a substantial donation, and that $1,000 was earmarked to help the newsletter stay in print. And so that money will be used to purchase the paper, and that should take us through at least a year. So that cost will be off the town.
We have a motion to remove.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Nay. Donna, where were you?
I was at five.
Sorry?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried. We have 2 letters for Volunteer of the Year. Do you want to read the nominations?
There's more than 2 letters, there's several
Well,
letters.
2
but
nominations.
two nominations.
Multiple letters.
Yeah, there's quite a few letters, I'm not sure you guys really want me to.
If you want to read them, you can come up to the office and read them.
Well, they're in the packet.
Well, I meant citizens.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yes.
I think they're both great recipients, and we've done it in the past. I believe we give them both nominations.
Thank you. I would
Award
make
both of
that.
that, and I'll make
I
that
would-
motion.
You'll make that, I'll second it. Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. All those in favor?
Aye.
Would you like to read the names?
Connie Limer for the West River Coalition Cat Care Group. Huge endeavor for helping these poor animals in this town that now hopefully we won't see too many more kittens running around. And then Nancy Schultes. Nancy is the person that takes care of all the potted plants in the town.
Those are beautiful, yes.
All of a sudden they just come up in the spring and you think, who's done this? And she evidently has a greenhouse and she starts her planters and she takes care of the pots at the Pops and ours and library and several places in
Post
town.
office?
Post office.
Post office, Galena's.
Galena's. Mm-hmm. So,
Very nice.
so would we like to make that presentation at the next meeting or the meeting,
If you've got your plaque piece done, yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, let us know when the plaque is
Yeah.
done and
Okay.
then we'll put
Okay.
it on the next agenda.
okay.
That would be wonderful.
Here's to Nancy.
Thank you both for all of you contribute to our town.
Thank you guys.
Mostly great heartfelt, thank you. Do you want to read this or is this just an FYI?
That's an FYI in the packet. That's the,
Okay.
where we had to turn back the ARPA funds.
Okay. Item from citizens. No action will be taken by the board on any issue related with tout being first placed on the future agenda by the board. I got something in my eye. To allow proper notice. Can you read that? Because my eye is
Sure.
messed.
The reserved time for public comment is 15 minutes. Meetings of the Board of Trustees are open to the public. The audience will be allowed to comment on specific agenda items during the time allotted on the agenda for those items, according to established procedures of the board. This is a time for members of the public to express concerns or discuss issues having relevance to the town. Anyone wishing to address the town board during this time shall be asked to stand, identify themselves after being recognized by the board president.
There will also be no interruptions by the Board of Trustees or the audience. Citizen input, please. Mike?
Just wanted to say, I didn't know that Nick and his dad were going to be here for the community center, but I just wanted to say thank you to the board for the reasonable nature in handling that. I'm pleasantly surprised the way that went down. So
Good.
appreciate that.
Good. Greg?
I didn't have much, just that down at the fairgrounds we were also putting in some more fence and removing a power pole. And I just had a drawing, if you guys wanted that, I can leave it here.
Okay, that would be nice. Did you ever come up with a plan for your garage yet? Okay.
But the fence is gonna go from like that Ferguson Street by the bathrooms there on the ball field down past the women's building for right now. And then I guess we'll see what the future happens with a new building if we do it.
Thank you.
I'll leave this with you guys.
Mr. Stiles?
Yes, I spoke earlier on it when it was under the agenda item, but I'd like to reiterate the importance of, we had a contract to do 500,000 gallons with a minimum of 500,000 gallons. I'd like to see before we pump any more than that we go forward like what was agreed to in the past by the whole board to put the cells B and C at the surcharge and see if that can't get us through May, especially with the weather that we're having, and not pump any more than we absolutely have to.
We will discuss that. Thank you. Anyone else? Trina?
Trina Matheny, so I just have a couple questions. Do we have any USDA loans? We don't, do we? I didn't see any. We do?
We do.
Are they listed in?
Trina, if you look in the claims, it's the rural development.
Yeah, saw it, okay.
Three loans.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were USDA or not. The the lagoon expansion, I thought last meeting that I was at, which I missed the last one, but the one before, I thought we said we were ready to move forward on that, but I didn't hear anything.
On the lagoon?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Okay. We are moving ahead, but the very first thing that has to be done is the approval from FEMA. And so that was discussed earlier on that letter. And so that has to be done first. And then DNR puts their words in, and hopefully we'll be able to be putting it up for bid. Well, if this happens, and it's sooner than we'd hoped with the FEMA thing, because of this letter, but we were hoping to start construction next year. But if we can get it sooner than that, we want it sooner than that, yes.
Okay, thank you. My last question is, when I was doing the water research, it seems like Hermosa uses a lot more water than other communities our size. Are we having a leaking problem? Do we have good water meters? Are we gonna replace the water meters?
Oh, we hope so. I'm sorry. I started reading meters today. It's done around the 20th of every month. It is a job that is difficult for everybody. My numbers go into the office staff, and the office staff has to put it into the computer, and everything is different, and all of our meters are even different. We have meters that count tenths and not tenths, and you don't know which ones they are, and it's very difficult. And so we have on this year's budget, we hope to get a new system that will it'll be all new meters will have to be installed in the homes, but then they will go directly to the computer, eliminating my job and anybody else's job to go door to door to read the meters, which will be a wonderful thing. It'll be absolutely great for the office staff. I don't mind doing the job. I do mind, however, the rattlesnakes. 20 below with the wind blowing, rain, just even the wind blowing. You know, I have to be real careful with my papers because they go blowing off if I'm not careful with it. So as soon as we can get that, that's a $68,000 project. Nothing is cheap, you know.
We have to find funds for it first, or we have some set aside?
We're hoping that it'll be set aside, but with all the pumping and everything going on, I think that there may not be enough money left out of this year's budget. However, this is one thing we can put into looking for grants for. Yes, absolutely, and that will be done.
Joan?
I think part of the answer to her question, if she's going by population, is also the fact that Hermosa does supply water to non-residents.
I noticed that. I thought that the numbers reflected on my slides.
Yeah, please do.
So Trina, we do a monthly water consumption report after the meters are read. We've been at a compliant level in the last several months, where we had a little bit of an issue about a year and a half, oh, actually probably about 2 years ago, I think it was now. But we've got that all straightened out, and we're compliant with what the percentage of the loss is. We're low, our loss is low. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And today the annual drinking report just came out. Chuck hasn't had a chance to look at it. The board hasn't had a chance to look at it. We just got it. So we'll be posting that probably. I know you were looking for it yesterday. It just came today. So we'll be posting that after the board gets a chance to look at it, as well as Chuck.
Thank you.
Any further input? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm Margie Jurens, and I was just concerned about the, I don't know what they call those, erosion snakes that are around all the culverts, but I see that the one up by the school has been removed, and I'm glad to see it, in case we do get some moisture.
I think the majority have been picked up, haven't they, Chuck?
Yes.
So they run the
Yeah.
pickup,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Thanks, Chuck.
Okay,
No problem.
okay. Thank you. I need a motion to go into executive session.
For legal matters.
For
Legal matters
legal
at
matters.
7:46.
So moved.
Well, second that?
All those in favor? Aye.
How you doing?
Good.
I just wanted you to pick that up.
That's the fence that we're putting from the.
Okay, recorder's on.
Okay,
Do you have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Need a motion to authorize Zach?
Do you need a vote?
Oh, sorry.
All.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Need a motion to authorize Zach and Jack Heap to approve the consent judgment,
To sign it
to sign it.
and bring the litigation to an end.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Need a motion to remove,
Motion
sorry.
carried.
oh, motion carried,
Right,
sorry.
sure, it was 3 to 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Motion to remove legal items A, B, and C.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. Those were the two items, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I'd like a motion to adjourn, please.
I make a
I
motion to
can't see
adjourn
the
this
clock.
meeting.
8:26.
8:26.
Do you have the agenda for me for tomorrow?
Did you guys ever look at that ordinance